Yes, hello. I hope you are doing well. Nimesema we come and discuss our show tonight so that we can be able to discuss some of the issues which are affecting us. So we need to understand that this is the final weekend kabla ya tupate Gachagua Kenya. Also, we also seeing the different things which are happening in our nation to try and win some of the people who have gotten lost back. I think Ruto camp is interested in seeing if they can be able to win some support from people. Lakini kitu imeniogopesha ni ile kuna watu 22 walikufa through an accident and the information inakuja kukua broadcasted more during their burial. I think that information was not brought to people so often, na sijui ni kwa nini. So there is a letter here which has been penned by KTN. Ningetaka musikilize and then we move on to Kindiki. I don't know what they are trying to tell Kindiki, but the letter seems to make sense.
May they rest in peace. Now tonight, we pen a letter, not the polite ribbon-tied kind, but one written in the ink of irony and the paper of public frustration. It's addressed to Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, who yesterday, at the close of the 9th Devolution Conference, assured Kenyans that the government is not keen on abducting or silencing its citizens. But as recent protests left bodies on the streets and many are still missing, that promise is being weighed against a very different reality. Here is Chebet Birir with Dear Professor.
Dear Professor, I hope this letter finds you well, or at least better than the family of that young man in Kiserian, whose mother is still scrubbing his blood off the tarmac. With the calmness of a man in a good suit, you say,
we are committed to securing spaces for dialogue and continuous consultations. This we must do in concert, not in confrontation.
I am tempted to believe you. Oh, Professor, I believe you. The same way I believe a cat that says it's lactose intolerant, or a lion that says it's a vegetarian.
The time has come for us to face head-on the threat of corruption and the danger it poses for the sustainability of our democracy.
Professor, when you speak, your words wear a white lab coat, clean, sterilized, precise. But out here in the streets, those words roll in the dust and get their ribs kicked in. Out here, freedom of speech sounds more like freedom until you speak, and then you are shot, not once, not twice, not even thrice, but 8 times.
Wakanichapa bana sasa 8 bana. Mtu anakupiga hivi bana na bunduki ukiwa chini.
You are kicked by police even on bent knees, because in this republic, submission is not safety. On July 7th, 2025, 12-year-old Bridget Njoki Wainaina was killed by a stray police bullet inside her home. As of now, neither you nor President William Ruto or any senior government official has issued a formal apology to the family of Njoki. This is not governance. This is a slow unfolding tragedy, a tragedy measured not just in statistics and headlines.
Tumeambia polisi, mtu yoyote mwenye atakaribia police station, piga yeye risasi.
Wakati jana umesema shoot but do not kill. I want to repeat it here. In fact, shoot and kill.
We've buried too many youth to count. The ones whose crime was carrying a placard instead of a gun. The ones whose last text to their mother was, I'll be home before curfew, Mom. They never made it home, Professor, but the bullets did. Dear Professor, they say justice is blind, but how ironic that the state now turns its full weight on its citizens.
We have a DPP who, despite the independence that they are assured of under Article 157, they proceed to dance to the tune of the executive and charge hapless Kenyans with terrorism.
Even against a blind man, not for breaking the law, but for daring to demand justice.
Vehement critics of the government have faced similar challenges as I have with KRA.
Dear Professor, in 2004, you joined the University of Nairobi as a lecturer of law, where you excelled and eventually became the head of Department of Public Law. You taught constitutional law, you taught contract law, criminal law, tort law, and property law. But let's focus on tort law, the law that protects citizens from harm. Isn't it just ironic that today it's the citizens who need protection from the state you now defend? Chebet Birir, KTN, Nairobi.
Nimesalimika. Thank you, and then thank you Pogon. Sasa ile kitu iko, kuna hiyo story ya like there are some people who cannot imagine that Kindiki, who is a professor, I'm even shocked that he joined the University of Nairobi in 2004. He is now the guy who is defending some of the Indians acting in the government and also using some of the tactics which should not be used. I think that is why people are trying to talk to Kindiki. I think they want to see if Kindiki can be able to get some sense. I don't think he can get some sense. I think he's a full professor of law. Yeah, I hope he can be able to understand that as a professor of law, and whatever he taught in the class. I think that was a very nice narration from a KTN, trying to tell him, we are not talking of now the law which you teach in class. Can we see the law which you teach now being implemented? So Apopsi anasema Kindiki may be good in law, but not good in constitutionalism. Educated fools are many. So it is something which I really congratulate KTN for bringing up, where they are asking Kindiki, where is your morality? You mean these things you started teaching them? I didn't know that he was a professor for that long time. 204 is not today. I remember 204 I was in high school. So from 204 to now, hey, Bwana Kindiki, at least come up vizuri. Please, ningetaka ukuje vizuri. It's very unfair for Kenyans to think like a professor. I didn't know that we stopped concentrating with the dead people who died and abducted people. Kuna watu hawajaipatikana mpaka saa hii. Hili taifa letu yawa. Kuna watu hawajapatikana mpaka saa hii. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Then kuna story ingine. People died in our nation and people seem not to be moved. Where has the news of these 22 people disappeared to? I'm just meeting with the news that watu walikufa lakini hatuna habari. This news was supposed to be everywhere in the news. It was a tragedy. 22 people dying from the same villages, and it was not percolating. I don't understand. Listening.
The victims have been removed from Jaramogi Oginga Teaching and Referral Hospital mortuary ahead of a mass funeral service in Nyakach this weekend. They are part of the 26 people who perished in a grisly crash at the Coptic roundabout in Kisumu when the school bus they were traveling in toppled. NTV's Judith Cherono begins our coverage on NTV Weekend Edition from here.
22 caskets, each holding the body of a family member, neighbor, or friend, lined up in the morgue this morning ahead of the planned mass funeral service in Nyakach. Hundreds of mourners gathered at the morgue, the air thick with sorrow. Some family members found it difficult to bear the tragic loss following Friday's road crash. Tears flowed freely as they gazed at the bodies of their loved ones lying in the caskets. Among the deceased is a 10-year-old girl named Cynthia Atieno. Her body rests in a white coffin as her relatives sobbed uncontrollably beside her.
We have planned that from here, the bodies are going to their respective home for the night vigil. And after that, tomorrow morning, we'll pick them up and take them to our central burial service. And we hope that by 1 o'clock, we'll again release them to the families for burial.
Ningependa kumpigia familia ambao wamepata hii janga pole kubwa sana. Watu wa Nyakacha and the all entire of Nyanza region and Kenya. And we want to tell us the national engineers wa barabara wa Kenya waende watoe hizi roundabout mbili. Hizo roundabout itamaliza watu.
Representatives from both levels of government were present to offer their condolences to the grieving families. They assured them that the government would continue to provide support until their loved ones were laid to rest.
As has been said, this is a very sad day for all of us in Kisumu and Nyanza as a general. The government sends its condolences to the people of Nyakach, and I want to report that the government committed to take care of this burial. We have so far received 4,400,000 shillings from the PS Interior to take care of this burial.
Nyanza Regional Commissioner Florence Moria called on the residents to remain calm during this difficult moment of grief.
We are asking you to come and condole with us. We will not at all allow any politics in this funeral.
A mass funeral service for all the departed will be held at Naki Primary School grounds on Saturday. Afterward, each family will bury their loved ones at their respective homes. The deceased were traveling from a funeral on Friday when the deadly crash occurred. The funeral committee chair has stated that tomorrow there will be no politics allowed in the podium during the mass funeral for the victims who lost their lives last Friday during the accident in Kisumu. Judith Cherono Mondi, NTV, Joshua Red, Kisumu County.
Yeah, those are 22 people who died last week, and the information has been very scanty. It's so sad that neither could we hear anything from the county government of Kisumu. Those people are not eulogized. We never saw any candlelighting event. I do not understand why the death of those people was put in the underground that way. Hiyo ni kitu bado sijaelewa. I don't think if people die, it is information which should be put underground. I don't appreciate that. So how are to they needed to be celebrated however they died. So that idea of hiding that information was not very good. So those are some of the news which are percolating around the way. I don't know if still the empowerment program continues, but the biggest news so far is also the opposition is still trying to fight hard, like they have never fought. So we appreciate that too. By election, zinakuja soon. So I don't know the results of by-election, but it is something which we will have to watch keenly. So I don't know, but already there is a UDA candidate who has died. So let's hear what the by-elections have to come and say, and then Raila anasema good, Aposi anasema in 204 alikuwa sha graduate ya 204, sisi tulikuwa tunangojea matokeo, but we are here. Have I heard right? Ati shida ni roundabout. Yes, Raila, that's what they said, ni roundabout. I don't know. Huyo ni jamaa, he is trying to think around. I think ana information. So huyo tu ni mtu anajaribu tu kufikiria shida inaweza kuwa ni nini, watu wanaanguka hivi. So yeye anasema tu ni roundabout na roundabout. Huyo ni Mkenya na maarifa. I'm sorry Ryan. Unajua sometimes when you don't have information, you say anything. So that's our brother without information. So let's hear what by-elections zinapangwa namna gani, then we continue.
Now, the dates are set and the by-elections mood is already on in 22 electoral units. Many polls that are touted as the litmus test for both the broad-based government and the united opposition. Wins for the broad-based government in some critical electoral units could as well mean that President William Ruto is likely headed for a comfortable win in 2027, while a win for the united opposition could be interpreted to mean that they are on course to make Ruto's one-term presidency claim a reality. NTV senior reporter Ibrahim Karanja now with an analysis of how the by-elections will reshape the political landscape.
The upcoming by-elections across 22 electoral units, especially the 7 parliamentary by-elections, will be the first major electoral test for the UDA-ODM broad-based government, a critical political flashpoint that will determine whether the President William Ruto's administration will consolidate power or it will continue facing mounting pressure toward a one-term presidency. With ODM having committed 5 expert members to Ruto's cabinet, and now having established a joint technical committee with UDA, the mini polls will reveal whether the political marriage between President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga can translate into grassroots electoral success, especially where challenges in coordination between their respective political parties are looming large. The key test is in whether UDA and ODM can strategically allocate their candidatures based on each party's historical strength in specific electoral units, rather than fielding competing candidates that could split the government vote and hand victories to the opposition. Specifically, in all the 7 parliamentary vacancies, President Ruto's UDA was only occupying the Baringo Senate seat, with Magarini, Ugunja and Kasipul constituencies all being ODM-led constituencies before they fell vacant. Banisa was a UDM constituency. Mbeere North was occupied by the Democratic Party's Geoffrey Roko, who is now an ally of President Ruto. Malava was occupied by ANC, which folded up to join UDA. If they were to come to a consensus, it would perhaps see UDA allow ODM to field the sole broad-based candidates for Magarini, Ugunja and Kasipul, as UDA fills the Baringo Senate seat, Malava and Mbeere North, with a conversation of whom between ODM, UDA and Ali Roba's UDM will focus on Banisa. In his meeting with Baringo County grassroots leaders Thursday, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki touched on the by-elections.
Kwa sababu kiti ni kimoja ama namna gani? Mmoja wenu ndiye atapeperusha bendera. Njia za kupata huyo mmoja ni nyingi, lakini niwahakikishie sisi, nikianza na rais, mimi, hao wenzangu hao wakubwa wako kwa viti na hao wakubwa mawaziri na PSs, hatutaingilia. Mimi nawasihi, kwa sababu najua msimamo wa rais na najua msimamo wangu. Mimi nawasihi wenzangu wale wengine, wabunge, mawaziri, tusiingilie mambo ya wananchi, kwa sababu hawa wote ni vijana wetu. Kuna mtu ametoka nje hapa, si hao ni vijana wetu wote, lakini kiti ni kimoja na lazima tushinde, timu yetu ishinde katika hii maneno.
On the other hand, the opposition views these by-elections as their moment of truth, an opportunity to demonstrate that Ruto's political capital is waning.
Tunataka tuambie wenzetu wa broad-based government, the battle that is coming up in Malava, DP Kenya, is going to become your Waterloo. Tukisema one term itaanzia Malava, na DP Kenya is going to show you what one term means.
We are certain and we are very confident. As I told you, we listen to the ground. We listen to our membership. We listen to Kenyans. Kenyans are eager to make Ruto a one-term president. And I want to be very confident in this, that UDA might get, if not a maximum of 1 seat That is if we do not put up a spirited fight. Yes, but they can get one or two. And I want to tell them that even in Baringo, UDA is going to lose. We're going to support our candidates from sister parties. We are in talks with Gideon Moi. And we want to ensure that he even loses in Baringo, so that Kenyans know that this is not a tribal movement. This is not a cousins thing. This is a Kenyan resolve that UDA will not get a single seat in these by-elections.
The opposition's strategy centers on proving that the broad-based arrangement has alienated ODM's traditional base, while failing to expand Ruto's coalition significantly. However, they too face their own coordination dilemma, exemplified in constituencies like Malava, where the Democratic Action Party of Kenya, DAPK, and the Democratic Congress Party, DCP, both of whom are in the united opposition, are fielding separate candidates.
It doesn't matter even if we field 10. We are sure that number one will be from the united opposition, number two will be from the united opposition, and UDA will come a distant third or fourth. So it doesn't matter. And this is what we are saying, that, we need to rally all our supporters, because if we leave it for DAP only, maybe DAP has got 3,000 supporters in Malava. So if we leave it for DAP, we will have left and exposed a weaker team that is going to face the government. And therefore, it is a united attack.
This united attack that Malala mentions is a fragmentation that could prove politically suicidal, potentially gifting seats to the broad-based government despite touted voter dissatisfaction. The outcome of the by-elections will therefore carry existential implications for Ruto's political future.
And therefore, we're going to start by mobilizing our party members and Kenyans who believe in this revolution journey to turn out in large numbers and ensure that they send a worrying signal to the president that one term is inevitable for him.
Strong victories for the broad-based government would validate the Ruto-Odinga alliance as a winning formula, potentially setting Ruto up for a comfortable 2027 re-election campaign. However, if the opposition wins significantly, then it would signal that the broad-based arrangement has failed to neutralize traditional opposition strongholds and could embolden other political forces to challenge Ruto's re-election bid, as was the case pre-2022, where UDA's win in the Kiambaa constituency by-election set the stage for a massive Ruto victory against President Uhuru Kenyatta's candidate. Ibrahim Karanja.
Your story by election is quite key. I would want us to analyze that. I don't know if in the by-election, so they are saying that Ruto wants to win them because he knows that they will catapult him to power again. So is the united opposition united enough to make sure that we win like the better position? I think nimeona father umeandika hapa na yupo huyu ni Father Dani Dario. So naona siku hizi ni kama umetumia jina ya Kiitaliano, dark in altum. The rain will be very heavy if the so-called united opposition is not keen. Apopsi anasema hivyo. So, and this election, Ruto will put a lot of money because he knows he will put a statement of frustration. So he cannot be allowed to win if we need to create a mileage of perception. And perception is key. So Mbere, especially a place where I'm saying united opposition should win easily ni Mbere. Ile ya huko, kunaitwa Mbere, no, nini? I don't know if the Mbere North one, here. That one, our eyes should be poised on that. That one we have to win because here iko at the center stage. I'm seeing UDA pia, wacha nichukue power kidogo. hiyo ya mbele hapana, hiyo ya mbele hatuwezi anguka hiyo. If we have to do something significant. Yes, that is me. It means put in the deep. So Italian name eh? Ama ni Latino, umeleta Latino. Na siku moja unafaa kukuja hapa utuongeleshe Kilatini. Some of us too, the only thing we know in Latin ni Habemus Papam. That is the most famous one in Latin we know. Tunaonanga kuna jamaa anatokezeanga pale anasema Habemus Papam. So that is the only thing we know. So na kama father unajua, especially like some of us who come from Embu, we used to use those Italian names too much. Although watoto wa siku hizi ni kama we are not using those Italian names. Domenico, Francesco, like those Italian names zilikuwa zinatumika sana huko kwetu. Watoto walikuwa wanaitwa hivyo sana, Domenico, Francesco, Agostino. Yeah, especially in Embu where I come from, many of my peers, those are their names. Agostino. Yeah, we used to use those names. Yeah, it was during the week of Catholic evangelism. I think in the 40s and 50s. Yeah, in 40s and 50s, walizaliwa in the 40s and 50s. Many of them, they have Italian names. How was that? I know Father knows what I mean. Embu was Italianized in names. Yes, I worked there, so you need to know that. So, lakini sasa generation yetu ni kama sasa wamekuja sasa wakaanzia sasa kusema sasa wapewe sasa hii majina mnasikia sasa Alicia Keys. Alicia. So hiyo ndio majina tunatumia, sijui Alicia somebody. Alicia Kanini. Nimesikia ame promise Harambee Stars kitu. Ati Harambee Stars wakishinda, I promise you something. Anaitwa Alicia Kanini. So siku hizi hiyo ndio majina inatumika. No, but in our language it was not even the way people pronounce it like in English. Kanini. No, ni Kanini. In Embu it is Kanini. But now, because now you want to put it in a version manner, mnaanzia kusema Kanini. Sio Kanini. Yani kama sio kakitu. Kanini, sio Kanini. Ni Kanini. In Embu tunamuita Kanini. I have an aunt called Kanini. Yani Kanini is something small. But sasa vile na nyinyi munaiweka ni kama ni Kanini. Yani kakitu. Yani it's like a question. Kanini. It's not Kanini. Yani nini, from nini. Kanini. Kanini is small. Kanini. So ndiyo Eusebia. Ya hao ni wamama. Eusebia. Hata kuna mama tunaitanga huko kwetu Eusebia. Angelina, Mateo. Anselmo. Ndio vile nimekumbuka mzee mwingine bahari anaitwa Anselmo. Mpaka so kumbe nyinyi ndio mulikuja mkasema sasa hii majina ya wazungu hatutaki, sasa kwanza tutumie ya Kiitaliano. So kwa hivyo Waitaliano waliponea hapo. So nataka kuuliza hii story ya by election mnaonaje? Do you think united opposition can actually make it? Can we do something meticulous? Hapa lazima tujipange vizuri, si ati tunajipanga polepole. We have to do something for once which makes sense. We have to do something meticulous. Yes, we have to do something meticulous here. So we have one weekend to Gachagua coming to Kenya or returning home, and we hope he is now coming to to synergize and organize that by-election. That by-election has power. That by-election has power to put us together. That election, and we deflate Ruto. So now to see, to me, and we should be very serious, Ruto asitumie hiyo by-election as a way of catapulting himself far. Yeah, because he can use it. So we have to be very clear about that. There is what we want. So we cannot allow Ruto to use that by-election to surge himself, to recreate. Already ametumia mpira. And hizi visit zake za kama Mlima Kenya, nimesikia he was in the State House yesterday, mini State House, ile inakuanga pale Sagana. I don't know what he was planning there. So some of those funny events he is using, we have to be also strategic to make sure that they are not seeing the light of the day through planning. So he cannot keep on getting people and getting more people to come into his front and into his fold. So hiyo hapo lazima tuchungane sana. Otherwise we might end up losing more. So please, if you have still not subscribed our channel, nitakuomba you subscribe. So we have to be strategic. So I don't know how the CP is planning itself in places where competition is not much. I think we will advise hiyo kila mtu anaweza toa mtu. I think in Embu there is not much competition. Hata kama huyo jamaa wa UDA nasikia akiitwa nani, huyo jamaa wa UDA anaitwa Leonard. Sijui kama ni jina ingine ya Kiitaliano, Leonard. So I don't know Leonard anapanga aje, but he cannot be allowed to assemble a machinery to defeat us. So there is that guy Leonard. He used to be, he wanted to be a governor some time back na chama ya Martha Karua. Sijui kama Father, kama unafuataka siasa ya Embu, you should be knowing of Leonard. Leonard amekuwa in the scenes of politics in Embu, lakini kuna vile hajafanikiwa. He has not been able to reach ile kadhurumondo pale. So I think Mr. Newton Karish ndiye candidate wetu. Sijui kama mnamujua. Wacha niwaoneshe. Newton Karish, wacha niwaoneshe Karish Newton. I think huyu Karish ndiye candidate yetu. Nikisikia. Let me see. Niwaoneshe kama mnajua, unajua lazima sasa anaitangwa Gangara. So nilikuwa nataka, he has been an MCA of a place called Mumenje. I think siku hizi ni kama sioni akitoa nyimbo sana. I wanted to show you. I don't know if there is a place where he is like alikuwa anaimbianga hao ma politicians until yeye akasema he will try it himself. I'm not seeing his latest party. Yes, I'm not seeing his latest, but I'm hearing huyu ndiye anapeperusha bendera yetu. So from Muthoni Kifagio to representing us.
Sijui national party namna gani? Wacha tusiangalia vizuri ama namna gani? Tukiangalia Wiper iko Ukambani. Sababu ya Kalonzo na alikuwa vice president inaitwa national party. Tukienda ODM kwa sababu huyu alikuwa naye prime minister ama alikuwa nini inaitwa National Party. Tukienda UDA kwa sababu hiyo nayo ni deputy president, nayo inaitwa National Party. Tukienda kwa Mundavandi kwa sababu naye amewahi kuwa hata vice president wakati mmoja na amewahi kuwa minister, nayo yake inakuwa National Party. Sasa mimi nauliza hivi, hii yetu tunataka kutengeneza, ya namba 3 Kenya na national speaker, ikiwa na national speaker, si hata hiyo ni National Party? Yes. Hata hiyo.
Yeah, so I'm hearing that's our candidate. I hope they vetted him well. So huyu ndio wanashindana na Leonardo. So hii ni kiti ya mbele. So kiti ya mbele tuko na hawa wawili. But if Karish mwana wa Mumbere, mwana wa Mwembu, if Karish will square it on with Leonard, I don't see Leonard having anything there. I know DCP will want to prove itself massively in Mlima Kenya. So I think that one so let's hear what Marara is saying about what has killed the UDA candidate. Kidogo, alafu niwaletea wa majamaa wengine waseme yao. Let's hear what has killed this. Kuna huyu mkubwa wa Manasseh Kenya, ama alikuwa mkubwa wa Manasseh Kenya, anaitwa Seth Panyako.
They have no feelings for the welfare of the aspirant within their party, and that's one of the reasons why I left that political party, because people there have commercialized the activities of the party and they don't care about the feelings. And I agree that party, if they are not careful, they are going to have more of aspirants having problems, because they have made some of those aspirants to sell their properties. Some have sold land, some have sold vehicles so that they can get that UDA ticket. My brother was told to resign from Bungoma High School as the chief principal, only to be told he will be given a direct nomination by UDA. But right now things started changing. He has lost his job, he's lost his money, then he's being told he's not favorite. So I would like to urge UDA and other political parties to know that the people they are dealing with are human beings. They have families, they have feelings. Therefore, they should not mistreat our people in the pretext of nomination. They must come out clearly and show how they are going to have the nomination done. We don't want to lose any of our brothers anymore because of how shambolic their programs are being run in Malava constituency.
The aspirant has died or collapsed and died due to political pressure as a result of alleged biasness ahead of the UDA nominations. There are several candidates in UDA, but the bigwigs in UDA have been favoring certain candidates. And this resulted into pressure that has cost the life of one of the aspirants. The aspirant resigned as a principal of Bungoma High School. He has spent a lot of money on campaign machinery. And the last minute, the indication was that they were favoring certain candidates against him. This resulted into pressure, and he's died because of pressure. We are going to carry out a postmortem, and that will be the results. It's the political pressure that has killed him. We want fair and free nomination in all political parties, including UDA, including DAP, including Ford Kenya, all the political players that will be in Malava by-election. We want a free and fair nomination so that this death does not occur again on other aspirants. Free and fair.
Kuna watu ambao wamesimamia vyama, wanadanganya kila mtu. Wewe kuja kwa chama yangu, mimi nitakupatia direct ticket. Wewe kuja kwa chama yangu, mimi nitakupatia direct ticket. Alafu wanakuwa watu wengi. Shida ambayo iko kwa chama cha UDA, na ningependa Musalia ambao unaongoza kule utatue. Wewe unakuja hapa unaambia watoto wa Kabarasi ambao wako tayari na kazi waende wa resign kutoka kwa kazi zao, unakuja kuwapatia tickets direct. Wanapoacha kazi wakikuja hapa, juzi wametangaza kwamba hakuna direct ticket, hao watu wanaenda kwa nominations. So mtu tayari aliacha kazi yake, hana mshahara, mpaka roho ishtuke. Leo hii marehemu Wandanja alikuwa ameacha kazi ya ualimu, akijua anakuja kupewa direct ticket, alafu kupewa anaambiwa ataenda next week kwa nominations. So akienda kwa nominations apoteze, atakuwa amepoteza kiti ya ubunge na amepoteza kazi. Mtu wa pili anaenda kwa mtoto wa marehemu Malulu Njeri ambaye anafanya kazi bunge. Kesho ndio deadline, kesho ndio deadline ya watu wote kuresign kwa kazi. Kijana mdogo kama huyo inafaa andike barua leo usiku aresign kutoka kwa kazi ya bunge, alafu akuje mumpeleke nomination aanguke, atakuwa amepoteza kazi ya bunge na amepoteza ubunge. Mtu wa tatu ni Ndakwa, Mheshimiwa Ndakwa. Yeye tayari ni MCA. Msale anamwambia kuja wewe resign by kesho. Ndakwa hatakuwa MCA wa Kabarasi West. Unamwambia kuja, alafu unamwambia enda sasa wapi? Kwa nominations. Ndakwa akipoteza nominations, roho yake itafeel aje? So Mheshimiwa Musalia, ni mzuri utangazia hao vijana wetu ni nani unaenda kupatia tikiti ya UDA, hao wengine wasiache kazi zao.
Hatutaki watu wa kuweka mguu hapa na kuweka mguu kwengine. Tunataka mtu asimame imara kama simba. Si namna hiyo? Haya, mimi nauliza Ndakwa, wewe tukimaliza nomination, ukishinda sawa, usiposhinda sawa, lakini utabaki kwa chama ama utatoroka? Sema tu hiyo, jibu tu hiyo swali. Nataka tu nisikie nitabaki ama nitaenda. Wacha kuniambia jina lako, sema tu nitabaki ama nitaenda. Ndakwa, swali imejulikana, hebu jibu.
Mimi kama Ndakwa nitabaki kwa chama cha UDA.
Hiyo ni uongo, hata mnajua hivyo. That is for the microphone. Ati mimi kama Ndakwa nitabaki kwa chama cha UDA. Aya, by the way, I thought Mudavadi anakuanga na chama yake. Aliendanga UDA lini? Hebu nataka msikie hapo.
UDA.
Kwani Mudavadi siku hizi ndiye engineer wa UDA? Nikuuliza tu swali. Ati mimi kama Ndakwa nitabaki katika chama cha UDA. So kumbe siku hizi unabaki kwa UDA upende usipende. Like I thought if you lose nomination you have freedom of going elsewhere in a democratic system, especially because saa zingine nomination unaweza ibiwa. You know, nomination si ati ni kitu you are assured of. I can lose nomination in UDA na niseme wacha niende kwa hii chama ingine tukakutane kwa debe kubwa. I don't understand why now Mudavadi is now pushing UDA ideology.
Haya, ndugu yangu, kijana yangu, Injedi Junior, utabaki ama hautabaki?
Mimi Ryan Injendi Malulu, kijana mdogo, nitabaki kwa chama.
I don't know why Mudavadi is forcing people. Mimi kama nitabaki kwa chama. Huyu hawezi baki. Nitabaki kwa chama. Hata hajasema ni chama gani. Yeah. Kumbe siku hizi hii nile inaitangwa kubatizwa bila maji ama kunyoroa bila nywele ama ni gani? Like unasulutishwa before election and people are collapsing. So unasikia people are collapsing because of pressure. You leave a very prestigious job to come and do what Mudavadi is saying here. Nimekubali vile wanasema ni pressure. Politics inafaa kukuwa na freedom ya aina. Nikiruhusa hapa naweza enda hapa. Because now they can mistreat you. Tunajua Mudavadi anataka kuibia nani hapa?
Ndugu yangu Kangwana, utabaki ama hautabaki?
Mimi Kangwana Simon nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa chama cha UDA, nitapaki.
Haya, ndugu yetu, na tumemwambia pole kwa kupoteza mama, lakini pia wakili Shimaka, utabaki ama hautabaki?
Mimi kama Shimaka nitabaki kuendelea mwaminifu na mtiifu kwa chama cha UDA na serikali.
Already they are four people. So na ni mtu mmoja atapata hiyo ticket. Na wajui kama wanaenda kushinda best wa DCP ile pande nyingine. Enyewe nimekubali that pressure is too much.
Karibu. Haya, ndio hawa wamesema watabaki, si ndio? Watasimama imara, si ndio? Sibakaraji magana mbasu kubara imbiri wa bakabaras imbiri wa Nyasaye.
Njuri hazina maoni. Nilikuwa nataka kukukaribisha na hiyo ya Mudavadi. Tell me what is that? Siasa imefika hapo. Jana niliona ulikuja lakini ulinikuta nikiwa pole. Go ahead.
Yaani nimeshangaa Mudavadi ana campaign sasa. Hakuna MPs kwa hiyo area.
Mimi hata nimeshangaa ana kampeni ya UDA. Did Mudavadi confirm aliingia UDA? I thought alikuwa anasema tuko Kenya kwanza. Aliingia UDA lini? Nikuuliza.
Yeah. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised kwa sababu yani Mudavadi amekuwa kama kajinga na UDA is likely to lose to opposition. I hope akina Gachagua na DP they won't bring hiyo ni constituency gani hiyo? Iko wapi? Iko kama
iko uko Western. I don't know in specific place where it is, but ni pahali inaonekana iko na mambo.
I hope they will present one candidate. You are still a conflict of interest. You are shinde nani. I hope they will plan. They will start fighting. So that washinde they beat Kaongo na Kasongo. Lakini it is just funny that Mudavadi is ati ameamua kufanya hiyo campaign. Aki siasa ni chafu. Mimi sitaki kuwa mwanasiasa Njiru. I can promise you that I will never vie for MP or anything. Siasa ni chafu sana. Ni chafu sana. Until you find yourself behaving like an idiot. Kama Mudavadi. You know he sounds so dumb.
Nimekonfirmiwa ANC folded na ikakuwa UDA. I think it's kama I never knew. So there's nothing like ANC in this fight.
Ili nini? Ukujua Mudavadi alisha fold ANC.
Wow. Okay.
Hakuna ANC, but I'm still wondering, Prime Cabinet Secretary dinafanya campaign. Hii serikali ya Kasongo, uliona juzi Kasongo ameitia vijana pikipiki na hakuwapea. Did you see that Njiru? Hakuwapea. Uliona kwa nini? Kwa press wakiambia hawakupewa. Na Karen Nyamu ndiye alikuwa amewamobilize. Yani let me ask you Njiru, as we discuss about Mudavadi.
Sorry. And I'm hearing wale vijana wote wanasema wakupokea pikipiki. They are being threatened na murder. Watauawa.
They are threatened to be assassinated. Juu amesema mwenye alipokea jitokeze aseme hii ni pikipiki, ni yangu, title na ndio funguo. Hakuna mwenye
Mudavadi the other day said pikipiki zilichukuliwa ili pikipiki zilichukuliwa ili zikakuwa registered na so that's what Mudavadi said like wanazileta.
How long does it take to register? Ukiendea gari na tekichukuanga wakati how long to register if you buy kaka in the showroom?
Wow.
Where Kasongo, yani Ruto is doing the unthinkable. It is called hope against hope. It is, you know what is called hopelessness, hope, and he still thinks that you know, Ruto is trying to create a perception kwamba Wakenya bado wako na time na yeye, and then so that he can try and rig, because without that perception itakuwa ngumu kuiba uchaguzi. Without that perception, that is why what he's trying. So what I think, Jiru, right now, Gachagua and team have a chance to create a perception that Ruto is no longer wanted through the by-elections. Wako na hiyo opportunity ya create your perception kwamba Ruto amekataliwa. They have a big opportunity right now. So the UDA should not win any seat in the by-election. What comes May? What comes May? If UDA wins an election, I will say Gachagua and team, they are very bad in organized. They are very poorly organized, and hata wajui penye wanaelekea. Hii litmus test hata hao wamepewa na Wakenya. Mwonekane vile wanaweza ungana na vile wanaweza.
Unajua hii by election, Julia, even as we speak, they have to be very careful also, because Ruto will want to steal this by election to put a statement that he is still very popular to catapult himself. So if there is any other time when these people have ever become serious, ni sahi. This by election should be taken very, very serious.
And should be manned. Unaona ile should be manned. Mtu police station kila wamani kabisa na wahesabu kura zao kabisa. Wahakikishe kwamba nobody will announce a different figure from what they wako na police station. The jokes aside hapa. First wakuwe na candidate moja for every police every by election. Wasikuwe na ati 2 candidates for DCP na ANC. If they start doing that, we will not take them seriously again. Tutaona hata how they are playing with us. Secondly, wakae they man that election usiku na mchana. What will be announced at the polling station should be what we are hearing Edukon aki-announce. Na wafanye video kama ni kupiga video, kurekodi mtu video, kila kitu. They should prove a point to Ruto kwamba you will not steal from our MPs. You will not, they should prove to him you will not steal unless unaimba in another planet Mars ama Jupiter. They should prove a point to him. Ruto, tumekupangia, you will not steal from our MPs. Wamonyeshe hivyo. Hata waambie intelligence na DCI hamtaiba, mwende mkaibe Mars ama Jupiter. If they make that statement, nakwambia, in fact right now, Gachagua was right to come back. Nisikia alikatiza his US tour because of that. He was right. Ajue kwamba saizi he and akina Kalonzo must prove a point. Wafanye zoning. People were saying hakuna haja zoning. Saizi wafanye zoning. Kama hiyo ni Western, ipewe DAP. Hata kama Malala ako huko, wapatie DAP, and Malala and akina Wamala should combine forces for DAP. Waseme Western ni DAP. Suti tunachupigia
Julia, but hapo kuna shida because DAP is not doing very well in Western.
But then if DCP cannot do very well either, that's a fact. DCP cannot do better than ODM and DAP.
Okay, that one we will have to understand it to understand ourselves. But we have to be very categorical of understanding which political party is coming up in Western, because DAP is not doing well. DCP, I'm not sure. That one we have to test. Although kuna mtu alikuwa anasema like DCP was trying even to pick in Western. ODM, that one is dead. Don't even talk of it in Western. I don't think they
then
can pick up.
Western imewachua UDA.
UDA, I'm not saying that UDA is also popular, but what I'm trying to say is that the united opposition has to very quickly understand how the ground looks like in Western, because frankly speaking, Western is very fluid. Haijulikani.
That's why I'm thinking Gachagua na Malala should shave their selfishness. Unaona, history ya kutengeza jina waache kwanza, waende Western wakampenie DAP, waseme mtu wetu ni Wamalwa. Wamalwa ndiye anatusimamia, because there is no way Gachagua will do without Wamalwas and the others. He will have to work with them, whether they know how to campaign or they don't know how to campaign, ama whatever they don't know or they know. Last time DAP won a lot of seats in Jiro, nakumbuka. Hata nani huyu natembea amewina DAP. You see, it should have a lot of seats in Western.
But Julia, the problem which we have is that the DAP of 2022 is not the DAP of today. The DAP of today is divided. The DAP of today has refused to eject UDA in some of places in Western, unless DAP, that is Eugene Wamalwa, comes out strong. And the other day I saw him saying that he will not allow Ruto to destroy their party in Western the way he destroyed Jubilee, which was a good statement, but it was a confirmation that Ruto was making inroads to destroy them. So the thing which we need to be asking ourselves is, between does DAP need to revamp itself or rebuild itself, or what do they need to do? Because unajua naona watu kama akina Malala, they are also on turbo charge towards making sure that the DAP becomes also a bit popular in Western Kenya. I don't know to what level they are going to make it, but frankly speaking, Julia, at this particular time, DAP will have to commit more in terms of being a popular party in Western.
I agree with you. That is why I'm saying Malala and Wamalwa should work together. Otherwise, the Ruto will win. Unaona, it is your enemy, is the enemy of, is my enemy, is your enemy, is my friend. Let me tell you, when at this time, however popular Malala and Gachagua feel like, Malala and Gachagua, they are kind of aggressive. However aggressive they feel like, right now they need to know the only way of wiping ODM and UDA in Western is working for Wamalwa. Si kwenda kuanza kupanda DCP. DCP will not sell. But we'll come back to our tribal cocoons. I'm telling you.
And are they willing to work on one front? That's another question.
They have to. If they don't, Njiru, hata wao tuwashave kidogo. Tusione watasaidii. Hii ni litmus test nakwambia kwa Gachagua and team. If they don't,
I think they should do an analysis quickly, and they should be able to determine somebody who is a little bit popular, and then they can put all their fold there. The other thing which can also make them also to fight each other, if they make an analysis and then they realize that the UDA candidate is very weak, he cannot move the inch. The ODM candidate is very weak, anapata kura kama 1,000, wa UDA anapata kura kama 1,000, na makandidate wao they are in the 1,000 levels, so they can allow competition.
Nani ya Father Duke, sikuzi anaitwa Father Duke in Atu.
Amejipia jina ya Kiitaliano.
The candidate is in Malava is weak. DAPK can do it. Yes, Jiro nakwambia, DAP already has candidates when you walishinda last election. So wako na ground kuliko DCP. Introducing a DCP candidate is not good. Gachagua, nani ataambia Gachagua history, awache history. Aina kuganya kura. Introduce DCP ni kuharibu kura. Is giving UDA a chance to win. I'm telling you, DCP UDA will win.
Tena UDA ishinde.
It will if Gachagua introduces somebody. It will.
I thought UDA is completely a carcass.
No,
I want to keep
Father Daddy Deras niambia hapo kwa comment section. If Gachagua fronts a DCP person, UDA is likely to win either through rigging or through kuchaguliwa tu. So mjino ndio mniambia ati saa hii UDA unaniambia kwa hii Western haijulikani iko wapi. That is the same main reason.
Western ni kama unga ya ngano ile imepondwa ile ambayo ina shape, it can be anywhere. So ile swali nitakuuliza, Julia, are you there ama umepotea?
Niko.
Ile swali nitakuuliza maybe which I want you to help me understand. Let's say like I don't know how DAP is, but you have to build your credibility from the way people perceive your political party. So maybe without looking at candidates, do you think DAP has authority in Western, or they can stamp authority in Western? Do you think they can like galvanize 50% of Westerners?
Yes, let me tell you on what reasons. On tribal basis. Itakuwa kura ya ukabila. Haitakuwa kura ya timu yako popular. Saizi, people are asking themselves whether our region has a party or a representation. That is what it is right now. It is not that our person is very popular. It's whether our region has, and that is the fight what Western wako nayo na ODM kwamba they always allow like that to represent them. I don't think they want to go that direction anymore. That is why Gachagua should use his head and know Western si pahali ya introduce candidate. He should not be overconfident thinking that he's very popular. By the way, Gachagua needs to know that vile popularity yake ni vile anatetea wa Kenya, lakini kuja uchaguzi wanya wanazamruka. He needs to know that wanazamruka haraka tena mapema sana. So alafu asipeleke itakaa kama ni kiherehere. I'm sure, sorry with people who are in love with Gachagua here, itakaa kama ataambia peleka hiyo kiherehere yako Mlima Kenya, peleka hiyo kiherehere yako huko. Unaona ati unatuletea
kiherehere ni nini? You need to explain to us. Huwezi introduce word alafu unatuacha hivyo. Kiherehere ni nini?
Kiherehere yako huko kwetu. Peleka hiyo kiherehere yako huko Mlima Kenya.
Ukimbelembele yani. Kujifanya ama
kujifanya ati you lure us even you even tell our wives what to do, how to cook our food. You utatukalia mpaka unafikiri you come and tell our wives how to cook our food. That is how watu wa Western watakuwa kibiri. So Gachagua, if me I'm thinking like that and I'm from the mountain, it is because I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm trying to think myself, to put myself in the shoes of our Western province, how they would be thinking. Gachagua coming all the way from the mountain to plant candidates there. Apana, he should right now, he should also, he should use that positively. Like, Manita Mkabila, there is a Western party I'm backing full force. I'm backing DAPK full, ANC Meisha. Wetagura to Atujia, wherever he is, not even, for people, he's not even talking. This is an opportunity for Gachagua and team and Akina Mother Karua and Akina Fred Matiang'i wote. They throw their weight behind the DAPK candidate. Now, end wasema one term. Watumia one term. That candidate will win. That's what they should do. Gachagua, let me tell you, Gachagua should only peleka kiherehere yake South Rift. South Rift can be tolerated. Na Wamasai is always tolerate Kikuyus. Na kuna Wakikuyu wengi huko. Unaona? Anaweza peleka kiherehere yake South Rift. Na anaweza peleka kiherehere yake Mombasa. Lakini atakipeleka kiherehere yake Mombasa, apeleke kiherehere na Kalonzo. He should with Kalonzo Musyoka. Asipeleke kiherehere yake Ukambani, ati DCP Ukambani kuambia Kalonzo Musyoka kwamba nanaita mtu wangu. Hapana. In Ukambani, should allow Kalonzo Musyoka to front his candidate. See, they call Gachagua tribal candidate. He should play it nicely now, effectively. If asipeleke kiherehere yake Kisii, he should allow Matiang'i to have his party in Kisii. Na asimamishe watu wake Kisii. That is how to play it. You see? And then, kiherehere ya Gachagua inaweza work in Nairobi, but Nairobi also there has to be zoning. Has to be zoned. They have to decide DCP tuweke mtu, tuweke governor.
Okay. Let's learn from the first people who did zoning was Azimio. Azimio did zoning.
Yes.
So do you think Azimio zoning of 2022 was effective?
Yes, they won a lot of seats. The only one they lost kwa sababu ya ukabila ni ya Sakaja. They did. It helped very much. It helped very much. It helped very, very, very much. It's idea sana.
So could it be the reason why you think because Azimio we had won majority seats?
Yes, that is why Azimio won majority.
Dismantled, yeah?
Yes.
We were dismantled by Ruto. So do you think Gachagua et al. Gachagua na wenzake, they have to start planning on how to shelve some places very quickly? Is that what you mean?
Yes. Gachagua right now, they have started planning on zoning because they must beat UDA and ODM, especially in Nairobi. Nairobi, they must not compete against each other. Kuna friend refer Nairobi, it should not be there at all. And you see, let me give them a candidate. Nairobi's governor should be one from Mount Kenya, deputized from by Muluya, or vice versa. They can, let me tell you, they can even go for Sifuna as governor in Nairobi to beat them proper, to give UDA and ODM athara kichapo cha umbwa. They should pick the guy who mwenye mentioned na Azimio governor alikuwa nani?
Governor wa Azimio?
Oh,
Igathe.
They should go Igathe Sifuna candidacy. Hiyo
na Igathe yako wapi? Wewe unaangi Igathe sinule bishi utokezea tu wakati wa kura. Alafu anahepa.
Wasipe Igathe nini? Wasipe Igathe.
Where is Igathe? Igathe siku hizi hata simusikiangi.
They should run an Igathe Sifuna candidacy because Igathe is said to be very an administrator. Na Sifuna si mwizi. Unaona washtue watu wa Nairobi wapatie Sifuna governor na wapatie Igathe deputy. They will have beaten UDA and ODM pounds down. Because Igathe is able to mobilize kura zote za Wakamba, za Wakikuyu, wa Masai, and Sifuna will get Western yote. Watu wako Nairobi watapigia Sifuna kura. Awe anasimama na DCP, awe anasimama na they vote for Sifuna, I'm telling you. That they should play. Unajua Ruto amekuwa akiaccuse Gachagua of tribalism. Gachagua should make use of that tribalism thing positively, impactfully, afanye numbers. Alafu unaona after doing that, sisi watu wa mlima, we go and register in Nairobi. Kama mimi nimewaambia mimi nitapiga.
Nairobi nafikiria kuna watu wa mlima wa kutosha Julia. Do we need additional numbers here?
Hiyo game
tunacheza wa kutosha.
No. That game we are playing hardball. I'm registering in Nairobi this time. I am going there to kick UDA and ODM out. Kwa senator na governor. That na nihakikishe hawana hata MP. That is my mioto ya. Kwa sababu if I vote in Madera constituency, it doesn't matter. Madera anyway, DCP atakuwa MP, DCP atakuwa governor, DCP atakuwa MCA. So they don't need my vote there. They need my vote in Nairobi to be impactful. Watu wa mlima wenye mkanajisikia tupige kura Nairobi, tuwaonyeshe vile kunaendanga. Tunaweza amkia huko tupige kura afu tuende nyumbani jioni tukakule githeri.
Julia, you are very divisive. Inalaitu wewe ni wale wa mama tunasemanga huko kwetu kadhokereria. Yani unajuanga tuko na hao mama ambao wana kazi yao ni kuweka kuni. Ile pale iko na shida wanaweka kuni tu.
Tuwaonyeshe Father Duck. Tutaonyesha vile kunaendanga, tunaonyesha. Hapana tagi babuino.
Wewe Julia, wewe ni ile generation ya mnakuta mtu anachoma pale au mnasema hii mafuta iongezwe. Hamna kaya nyingine.
Tuamke mapema.
Hamna mguu mwingine. Mbona mtu anachoma na mguu mmoja? Tunafaa kukuwa na miguu tatu hapa.
Kiza. Tunaamka mapema. Tume saa 11 tuko kwa line kwa voting Nairobi. Tujigawe wengine kasorani, lakini nia yetu ni kuhakikisha tumepata wambunge, tumepata senator, tumepata governor. And we should only have one agenda, to kick ODM and UDA out of Nairobi. We teach them a bitter lesson. Tuonyeshe kunaendanga hivi. That's what we should do. Jokes aside, we are not playing. So Gachagua asipeleke kiherehere yake Western.
Okay, so how long do they have to do on that? Because I can see, I don't know kama sahi kwa hiyo kiti DP kuna mtu na akina Malala DCP wako na mtu. So how quickly should they align? You
see if unaona akina Malala, they are feeling good that people, jana niliona watoto walienda kuiba one term kwa mchezo. They are feeling very good, people are buying one term. But they should ask themselves how much one term can translate to votes, especially when it comes, we should not run away from the fact ya mtu wetu, watu wetu, chama chetu. We should not run away from that. You know, watu wa Western wamekuwa wakisema hivi kwamba wamechoka kubebwa wana. Wamechoka hivyo. So, Gachagua and team should not imagine kwamba watu wa Western watatoka ODM na UDA waanze kubebwa wana na DCP. I don't know how Malala expects that to translate into votes. I don't know. He may prove me wrong. I may be wrong, by the way. I may be wrong. But right now, there's no time for friendly fire in the Western province. kuna regions that don't need friendly fire. Western, Nairobi, na coast. We don't need friendly fire there. Western, Nairobi, and coast, we don't need friendly fire at all. We need a combined team that is...
Na Wiper wana mtu huko. Wiper wana mtu...
Wiper hata peka kirere yake Western.
So don't you think now Wiper can bring them together? Because
yes,
it is something I'm trying to ask myself, because unajua Julia, it is something ili pia turuhusu Jeromora tuambie kitu kidogo. You see, there is something which I'm not understanding here. You see, DAP in Western has to begin by doing party restructuring. Chama yao ni kama wako na mashida, by the way. They have been having problems, wamekuwa wakipigana wao wenyewe na Tembea, and this guy, like their party has not been stable. And now, for now, we now say that we want now to front a candidate through DAP. Now, do you think now you know when you front a candidate through DAP, you are now saying that person to lead your campaign there? Do you think Wamarwa has what it takes to lead our campaign in Western and galvanize those people to a win? That's what I'm. Do you think Wamarwa has that leadership qualities which we need in that area?
Why not Jill? We just need to back him. Even Kibaki was leading us. Na tulikuwa tunamita General Kigwea. Na tulikuwa tunasema yesa. Na hata vile walitukanaga na Luse tulikubali tu hiyo matusi. Na hatuku complain. So
by the way, like in Embu, maybe to tell you, maybe to give you those news. In Embu, DCP as I think as unajua candidate wa DCP Embu ni huyu jamaa mwimbaji Karish.
Embu kuna by-election.
Kuna by-election hapo. And by the way, do you know that Julia, maybe ni vile hatukuwaletea hiyo news. Unajua hata watu in a town called Chicago watu wameuana sana.
What happened?
Did you hear of those news? Watu walikuwa katana huko, Wameru na Waembu walikuwa wanauana.
Kulienda aje?
Cindy, you know Chicago town in Chicago, I don't know Chicago, sijui kama Chicago ni Bere South ama ni Bere North I think Bere North. So Chicago town is a cosmopolitan town juu ya Muguka. So Wameru walihamia Chicago sana. So Wameru ndio wanauzanga mira Chicago town. Sasa because sasa Wameru wanauzanga mira Chicago town, kukaanzia wizi in Chicago town. So wizi kuanzia Wambere na wao pikipiki zao zikaanzia kuibiwa. So unajua majama wa boda. So unasikia mtu aliuawa, pikipiki ikaenda. You see those things which happen, then it became political. Ati wale watu wanaua watu ni Wameru. In quote, that is what happened. I don't know, maybe inaweza kuwa pia ni propaganda ya kutoka huko UDA. So ili sasa kuanzia vita ya Waembu na Wameru hapo. So incidentally sasa kumekuwa na vita ya Waembu na Wameru. So biashara za Wameru zikakuwa targeted. Some Meru people, their businesses were banned. I think pia some people were even being taken to Embu Provincial General Hospital, the famous Provincial General Hospital. Siku nasikianga inaitwa level 5 Embu level 5 watu walikuwa wanapelekwa huko last week, but one wakiwa wamekatakatwa mikono nini. It was a very bad scene. It was a very bad scene in Chicago, where people have been fighting, and I think it is one of the area which houses that constituency which is having by-election. I don't know if they have solved it. I did not see Mbarire, Karinda handling it. The only person niliona amejaribu kuhandle huyo Roko, huyo jamaa mrefu. He came and I think tried to neutralize the issue. But that tension has not gone away because maybe Father can tell you this, because also Mbere we have so many foreigners in Mbere area because of cheap land. Unajua for so long in Mbere, because it was the drier part of Embu, land was very accessible there. So people used to buy land from different places. Munaenda Mbere wapi. So Mbere is not for Mbere people. So like there are also people from other places. There are people from Meru. There are people from Embu kwenyewe. There are also people from Central Kenya. Sasa ni huko Kirinyaga, Nyeri, huko kote. So people have been migrating to Mbere, especially huko places za Seven Forks wapi. Hiyo place yote imekuwa cosmopolitan sana. Watu wamekuwa kihamia huko. it is like Mpeketoni in Lamu, and that is where like the tensions have been building from, and kumekuwa na tension mbaya sana hapo on Mount Kenya communities. So, and I think it is now becoming a polarization point. Unakuta sasa hata Wameru from their mainland now, wale Wameru wako the other side ya mainland, hata walikuwa wamesema wanataka kukuja mbele to defend the Meru people there. So ikakuwa ni kama sasa hiyo kitu nao akina Kindiki nao akina Kindiki ni wakakuwa ni kama sasa now they also wanted, walikuwa wanataka kuingililia hiyo story tena. So there is that tension which is in Mbere. I don't know how they are going to solve it, but watu wamekuwa wakiuana Chicago town. I don't know if akina UDA wataingililia kuweka kuni. I don't know if it will turn political, but tuko na hiyo tension saa hii juria in Chicago where Mount Kenya communities are fighting each other. Hii sio ati vita ya Kasongo ama maybe hata kama ni vita ya Kasongo maybe ni indirect, but Mount Kenya people are fighting in Chicago. Go ahead.
I think the leaders there should give directions. Wasikubali hiyo, that is, it sounds primitive and outdated. Wasianze ile maneno ya Kerio Valley. Unakumbuka story za Kerio Valley vile kunaendanga? They shouldn't start that. The leaders should just give a way forward. Now wa condemn now. I mean, I think the leaders can give instructions and the way forward, and it will be resolved. Otherwise wasirudishe nyuma. Naona Father Danderas anasema ati sia akago atuko ni kama kuna jaa witchcraft. Sia akago. Unaona njiri nyinyi watu wa mbele na unajua kitabu mimi I used to hear that kuko backward sana. I hope it's not true.
No, unajua Julia, what there is that every county in Kenya haikosangi pahali iko na where like things are not. Unajua hata kuna pahali nilienda Nyeri huko ndani like a place ni Kieni nikakuta yani things are so like every county iko na those remote areas like we have those remote areas in every place, even like in Embu those places of there are some places in Mbere which are a bit remote kama zile tulikuwa tunaonyeshwa the like in Tharaka Nithi, they also have like those remote areas. So because Kenya, we have not developed equally everywhere. Although there are some like smaller counties like Kiambu where maybe I don't know if like places like Kiambu they have those remote areas, but for us in Embu we have those remote areas whereby unakuta hata shule ni za matope. We have those remote area. So yes, we have those remote areas. So nilikuwa nataka kukusomea hii ya father anasema sia akaago, yani akasi ni wa mama. So anasema so the meaning of that one is sia aka, so sia kago, so that name sia kago ni sia akago. I think father wanted us to learn about that. Now sorry, wewe father uliimba neno ya Embu uliinjulia wapi hivi? Although you usually tell us one of your portion is Embian. And
Father Jack Makwa anatoka I think he has lived in Embu for many years.
Yeah, and I think one of his portion is from Embu.
One of his at least the mother told him where he was.
Yeah, and I think one of his portion is from Embu. So father ni wetu. So kwa hivyo wewe father, hata kama unakula mandizi ile ngambo ingine, wewe unjue wewe ni wetu. I think you even told me you used to be a father ni wapi? Ni hapo Syria? You used to be in Syria? There is a place called Syria somewhere in Asia. Unaona hata anajua maneno ya Waembu. Hata sasa ndiye anaweka hata madetails sasa. Huyu ni Mwembu huyu, achana na huyu. Anajifanyanga tu ati mimi ni wa Kisii. Oh, ndio huyu. No. Anasema my mother is Embu. Ndio hiyo. Okay. Hata ndio unajua nakuonanga huko kwa Facebook na naona uko na sura ya Embu. By the way, hebu muende mfuate father huko kwa Facebook na YouTube. Analetanga masomo ni vile summons zake ni complex sana. Unajua shida yako father, kama unataka tukufuate lazima ulikuwa kwa hizi your summon has to be simpler kama hizi za kina General Commander. So Julia, unajua father anahubiri ile ng'ambo. No, by the father anahubiri sana, naendaga huko kwa preaching zake, lakini preaching ya father ni ile lazima wait a minute, what is he saying? So father, simplify your preaching na
Amesema mama yake, the mother is Embu and the father is
yeah. So clans incite and influence foreigners to hate or love one clan and hate the other.
Unaona, hiyo ndio ushamba. Nasema hata watu wa Embu mkinichukia, mnichukie tu, na watu wa Mbere. Hiyo ndio nasema, some backwardness that should be fought. How do you start hating each other in terms of clans? Watu walikuwa kwa clans siku gani? Tuko kwa clans, yes, but I can't remember Kikuyus fighting in terms of clans. We have clans, by the way. Mimi niko clan yangu naitwa Waithirado, clan yangu penye nimetoka. Na hata even in the days what we were registering for passports and others, we could be asked to for clan. I don't know whether they ask any longer Njiru. You could be asked your clan. Unasema clan yako ni Waithirado, but we never ever have fought.
I think clans are fading away. It's unfortunate. I don't think in the next 30 years we will be remembering clans.
I don't know whether they still ask them when they are applying for passports. I stand to be corrected, but I'm just trying to say it's a beautiful thing to have a clan, but you shouldn't be fighting. I mean, hiyo ushamba nyinyi akina Njiru ndio mmesoma, mwendange huko mwambie sasa tuwachange hiyo ushamba tuwachange, tutusonge mbele. You should preach to the nation in Mbere. Preach civilization. By the way, let me say this. Mbere si Mbere. Mimi nilitembea Tharaka some years back. It must be over 20 years back. So I don't know whether the Rakandidi has changed. Nikashuka pahari, nilikuwa naenda pahari ilikuwa inaitwa Iguanjau. Nikashuka gari somewhere, I don't remember where, after Chuka. As on your way to, after passing Chuka, as if you are going to Meru. Nikashuka mahali Njiru. Nikaambiwa there was only one vehicle. Ilikuwa inatoka hapo inaenda Iguanjau na ilikuwa inatoka saa 8. Nikaangalia gari sikuipata, nikaona Land Rover moja hapo ilikuwa open. Nikaambiwa ningoje saa 8. As through nilikuwa so disappointed. I'm going to see somebody in a school. I called the school. The person told me, yes, you have to wait for that vehicle. I waited for that vehicle. Saa 8 ikafika. Tukapanda gari sisi na mizigo na kila kitu. Tukaanza safari, and don't forget nimelelewa Central, so I'm not used to use. I was not used to. I didn't know that people still use those vehicles, and I went to a place called Iguanjau in Tharaka Nithi. So what I'm trying to say, Njiru, there are parts of Mlima Kenya yenye bado iko so underdeveloped. The other day niliwaambia Nyandarua kuna places hakuna barabara, hakuna stima, hakuna maji. People were trying to say here, Mlima Kenya wako na pesa, Mlima Kenya wako na barabara, Mlima Kenya they are favored, they have everything. It is not true. It is not true. That is why even saying that vote for my man, you'll benefit. You just need the right person who will do the right thing. So kama ni hivyo, Njiru, mwambie watu wa Mbere hiyo vita ya ujinga wawache. That's my take. Tuache Njeru aongee.
Yes, Jerumaura, the other cousin. Na by the way, Pogoni, naona Pogoni ameandika mambo mingi. Maybe kidogo, 1 minute. Pogoni ni kama anaomba msaada. So najulia, you can also check the private section vile alikuwa ameandika hapo. I think Pogoni has been one of our person. Anasema, wenzangu, naomba msaada wenu. Tangu nitoke nimekuwa na changamoto mingi. Alafu for the last 10 days nimekuwa naumwa na tumbo sana. Nimeshinda hospitali na madawa daily, but haiponi. Please help me guys. Nafaa kufanyiwa test za endoscopy na zingine, but siwezi afford kwa sasa. Please, if you can help me, nitashukuru sana. So I think Pogoni is trying to put an appeal there. So me, the only thing I will do, nitaweka hiyo ndio namba ya Pogoni hapo. If you feel you can help him in a way, unaweza mpigia simu hapo 0714 522 450 Milton Pogon. Yeah, so yeah, watu wanatakanga msaada saa zingine. So he told us the other day that amekuwa kwa cell. So I just wanted to relay that because nimeona he even came here in the studio and he wrote a lot about it too. So yule ambaye anaweza, you feel you can help in that nature. So Jerome Mwaura.
Yeah, habari cousin. Tumefikisha wapi?
Kazi
tumefika
Mambo ni mingi. By election saa hii ni kujipanga kuonesha Ruto kivumi.
Sijui mambo ya mbele vile nitasema. Sasa nataka nidi ile mnasema, mnaona hiyo masura vile Kindiki ameharibika, akona inaitwaje? Amefanywa madharau na news. Hakuna masura huko. Na analinga hivi kakiongea vile kanaongea kaka kama mama. Anyway, mnaona Ruto, msiongee habari ya Ruto. Ruto amejiharibia kabisa. Wakati ameita wambunge wote ndio wanachukua mapesa ya ku bribe, amejiharibia kabisa kabisa kabisa. Mimi naangalia tu na macho siku hizi. Shauri Ruto ati anaita watu corruption. Kwani alitoa Gachagua na nini? Ni pesa alipeana. Si aseme nani alipea hao wabunge pesa. Ingine nitasema hiyo Western mnasema ni pesa tu wanamfuata wapeo pesa. Wamehamba kwa ODM. Wachaneni na yeye hana na kitu. Ruto ameenda. Na ule atachagua Ruto ni mjinga. Kwani hana na tabu? Tabu imejaa dunia mzima. Unachagua Ruto kufanya nini? Ingine nikaona huo wa Msoba vile ameorganisha wanawake wote wapige Ruto sauli. Wasichana waliuawa na ni kweli. Wabunge wanafikiria ni nani ataleta hiyo msaada? Waulize swali. Wa Msoba walifanya vizuri, hata tafadhali hivyo walifukuzwa, lakini ameacha kuamuka sasa. Walikuwa wamekimya sasa mwaka mzima, wasichana wameuawa na hakuna mtu anaongea hivi ati mtu amepotea kwa seo. Amepotea aje? Mrokoman Msoba anajaribu kumtoa, si atolewe. Si atolewe, ajui kazi yake. Alisomea wapi hiyo kazi? Sasa vile nasema msijali, Ruto ana hata karibu ya kuingia huko tena. Asi amedanganya hawa watu wote vijana wa Jakaranda nini na kipikipi. Kwani watu wa Kenya watafungua macho siku gani? Wajiulize hii kipikipi amenunua wapi? Hiyo ni so. Hakuna mtu alikuwa anatakana atoke na pikipiki huko. Hata ile ya Sudi, hakuna mtu alipewa. Wanarudishia Wahindi tu. Hiyo ni biashara ya Wahindi. Ni so wanafanya. Vile nasema mimi sina maneno ya kusema, na ngoja basi niende kazi. Na wasikiza na kufurahia vile Wakenya wengi wamefungua macho. Ni pesa tu wanakula Ruto. Sasa yameiba yote. Si unaona sasa ameanza kusema ati hospitali kutoka level 4 down ni free. Sasa ametoseka na ile pesa yote amerogota sasa. Ameweka huko na sanduku. Ametoseka na pesa sasa. Ameanza kupiganisha watu. Anafikiria kampeni atatumia pesa. Watakula watamwacha pale. Au utaona. Na Raila hakuna pahali wanaenda. Sasa opposition wajitayarishe, wajue ni nani atasimama. Mwaka kesho amulete huo mtu. Tuone ni nani. Sauli tujui, Mungu tu ndiye anajua ni nani. Anyhow, mimi sina mengi ya kusema, naangalia na macho siku hizi. Sauli sijui hata nitasema nini. Kenya imekuwa kama sijui ni nini. Na hiyo mlikuwa mnaongea na Julia habari ya majina ya family upeo passport. Hiyo ni lazima sio ati kusema ati Kenya imekuwa mpya. ndio unaona anaingiza wa Somalia huko. Hiyo ni mzuri sana. Ulizo wewe una which trouble you are from your family whatever. Hiyo ni mzuri sana. Sasa kwa hivyo hawezi kupeana hiyo kitambulisho. Anyway, mimi nasikiza nyinyi, sisemi kitu.
Okay.
Asante sana Jiro.
Okay, ni sawa sana. Thank you so much Mama Njero Mwaura. We appreciate your contribution. Kuna poll tumeweka, ukipatana nayo ile pande nyingine, although naona watu wanasema none of the above. Kwa upande wa upinzani we have put 3 candidates. So jaribu kutuambia out of the 3, who do you think should be the most probable? Whoever will emerge there as the winner, we will try to poll him against Ruto. So we are trying to do some comparison with some information we have gotten somewhere. So tumeuliza swali between Gachagua, Matiang'i and Kalonzo. Who do you want? I think you should see it and iko kwa channel. But I will also see how we can be able to bring it here tomorrow. So wacha Julia nikuwekee besti yako hapa usikie. Ati huyu besti anasema ati watu wa baba wameenda wote kwa Ruto na baba. Wakikuyu ndio wanaregarega. I want you to listen. Maajabu. So
wale watu wa Nyanza wa ODM wote na wa baba wote wameingia kusema Ruto tuta. Maandiko mkutano kubwa mtaiona kwa TV. Ya baba kusema sasa rais na watu wake wa Nyanza na Western wote. Ukienda kule Northeastern kwa kina Dwale wote wanasema so ile kitu tutadanganywa mlima ni moja. Sisi ndio tutakuwa opposition. Si Ruto atakuwa rais. Atachaguliwa Kenya nyingine sisi tukue nini? Na niwaambie opposition ni ngumu. We want to tell the opposition to stop misusing our young people. It's good to demonstrate but stop lying to young people. Ukitaka kudemonstrate, weka your son ama your daughter mstari ya mbele pia tumuone akiwa huko.
Huwezi kuwa wewe unajiita kiongozi, lakini ukifika kwa watu, mambo yako ni kuchochea peke yake na uelezee hawa watu ni nini wamefanyiwa ambaye ni kibaya, ambaye hakiwezi rekebishwa, na kama niwe utakuja kurekebisha kwa njia gani. Ndio tunasema hiyo siasa imepitwa na wakati. Mwezi mmoja ambao umepita, tumetulia Mount Kenya region. Mount Kenya hujasikia watu wakichoma maduka, hujasikia maandamano, hujasikia watu wakipigana kwenye jukwaa. Tumekuwa tukitembea mwezi mzima. Hawa watu wametusikiza. Sisi sera zetu tunawauzia. Na pia nyinyi mmejionea watu ya magazeti. Tumekubali waongee kila kitu. Hata kijana amesimama hapa akasema yeye ni wa one term na tumemsikiza. Maana lazima tusikize kila Mkenya. Lakini wewe kazi yako ni kutuvuruga kama sasa amerudi. Nataka kuhakikisha kesho ile furugu itakuwa ndani ya Kenya hii hata leo kuanzia leo. Akifika tu kutoka kiwanja ya ndege pale. Kitu ya kwanza Wakenya vile mmevinywa one term. Wakenya vile wewe akasoko masiko. Wakenya vile mmevinywa. Yaani wewe huoni Kenya imetulia? Watu ya mlima wametulia. Sisi tumeendesha na siasa yetu na utuambie ni wapi tumekutukana wewe. Maana wewe umetutukana kutoka asubuhi mpaka jioni, tumekutukana wapi? Hata wakati umeenda Ulaya kuuza nchi ya Kenya, kusema utatoa maneno ya Kenya kwa wakoloni. Sisi tulikokosoa kidogo na hatukutukana wewe. Tukakwambia wewe kumbuka na bado utarudi nyumbani. Na huwezi choma nyumba yako kwa sababu nyoka hapo ndani. Huwezi choma hiyo nyumba. Tunakukosoa. Tafadhali wacha makasiriko. Rudi Kenya, wakukaribisha, tupeane heshima.
Tumsikize. Ni mtu ameona mengi. Ni mtu amefanya kazi, amekuwa kiongozi kutoka hiyo miaka yote mpaka wa leo. Tusikie vile ambaye anatuambia. Huyu kiongozi wa mashukuru huyu amechaguliwa bungeni mara 2. Anaendelea kuchaguliwa ingine ya 3. Na ukisikia akisema hii ndio njia ya kufuata, na hawa ni viongozi wa huko mahali huyo jamaa ambao kichwa yake ni mbaya anapaswa kuangaliwa na madaktari, na tunaomba akae huko Amerika asije akarudi. Kenya imetulia wakati amekuwa katika huko Amerika. Tunaomba akae huko na asikuje jamani. Wangapi wanasema akae Amerika, hebu tuone na mikono, hebu tuone na mikono, hebu tuone na mikono. Mnataka rudi? Kukoroga, kuchoma Kiretile, kuchoma Embu Town, kuchoma Nairobi. Tunataka biashara ziendelee ama mnataka kuchomoa biashara? Mnataka kuchomoa biashara ama mnataka maendeleo? Yule ambaye anachoma biashara na alipu mali ya watu, mnataka kuje kuendelea kwa namna hiyo? Ati mnataka kuje aendelee? Mnasema hapana.
Mnataka mtu wa matusi ama mnataka mchapakazi? Mchapakazi. Mnataka mtu wa matusi ama mtu wa vitendo? Mtu wa vitendo. Mnataka mtu wa propaganda ama mtu wa agenda? Mtu wa agenda. Huyo mtu ambaye ana agenda yenyu, huyo mtu ambaye atawafanyia kazi si mwingine ila William Samoei Ruto.
Julia, sina maoni. Kuna watu wamesema huyo mtu asirudi akae huko. React to that. I will not say again. Nilikuwa nikitaka usikie hiyo.
Yani akina Menko, yani wanaogopa Gachagua. Unaweza sema when I grow up I won't be like Gachagua.
Ndio nataka juu.
Kwa nini Jero, kwa nini unatuweka hasira asubuhi? Hata sijakunywa chai sasa. Unaniweka hasira na wajinga. Wai, Jero.
Stop this. Asirudi akae huko Marekani kabisa.
Sasa wanamtumia hii Mugeki alafu wanasema ni yeye anakoroga nini? Si anasema ukweli. Watajua wajui anakuja. Tunamgoja.
Tutaanza kusema one time. Hatujasahau one time. Hata tulikuwa tulikuwa tu half time. Njiru. Akina nani waambiwe tulikuwa half time. Si ati tulikuwa tumewacha. Tulikuwa tunaenda kugather more strength now. Wacha tuone waone vile tutapeleka syllabus. Wacha wapo, hata mimi nitasema kama Njeru watajua hawajui. Wakoende huko.
Kama huyu Mwangi Kejoli anasema nini? Huyu mtakataka. Hakuna mtu atamsagua tena utaona.
Kwanza
Kejoli mjinga ya mtu.
Kejoli anaenda mara ngapi? How many times? Somebody research. How many times has Kejoli been a member of parliament? I think he lost.
Mara mbili. Oh. Najua Kijuli anasikianga ubaya. Sauli alikuwa anataka akuwe deputy, akusaguliwa. Hiyo ndio ujinga ako naye huyu mtu. Mjinga kabisa, sijawahi kuona. Sijui ni nani anamsagua.
Hebu niwaekee sycophant kidogo. Unajua pia Jerome unasema na wakasirisha. Unajua pia ni vizuri nikikaakaa pia nawaekea psychophant, mnasikia. Unajua ni vizuri pia kujuanga hawa majamaa psychophant bila breaks.
Teenagers are building businesses with AI, while the only AI you know is ChatGPT. Let's be real. Most people
wondering what exactly he was telling us. But he was right, Your Excellency. The economy was actually in ICU. But today we are talking a different story. Your Excellency, you have given me an opportunity to work with you very closely. And thank you for supporting me. Because if you didn't give me space to work and support me, we would not be where we are today. And I can confidently affirm that inflation has been contained. Our reserves are healthy, over 5 months of import cover. The shilling is now stable. In fact, Kenya's shilling has appreciated the most in the world in a period of less than 1 year. Your Excellency, I am confident to say today that road contractors are back on the roads because of what we have done. And going forward, this economy can only get better. Today, we don't have sufurias in our heads. People are complaining about other things. When you see people who during President Uhuru's time were asking why the price of tea was very low, those people were asking why coffee was collapsing. They were asking why dairy industry had a challenge. In fact, they were saying dairy industry had a challenge because President Uhuru had an interest, a direct interest. He owns a dairy farm. Today, Your Excellency, I am waiting to hear those same people complaining about tea. I am waiting to hear if they are complaining about coffee. I am waiting to hear if they are complaining about milk. Today, the conversation is changing to human rights. But they are not known for fighting for human rights. It is us who are known to be fighting for human rights. And Your Excellency, I am happy that we are working even on that space of human rights to make sure that Kenyans have a voice. And if there are challenges that we are facing, we confront them head on and we deal with them. It is not something to call people to the streets and loot people's property. It is something that we can discuss and agree, as you have agreed with Baba, that we are going to compensate those who have suffered in the hands of police and even the police officers who have also suffered. And someone was asking the other day, who has been the vice president of Kenya, that where will we get the money? That there was no budgetary provision. I want to remind him that 2010 Constitution gave the cabinet secretary, national treasury, powers under Article 223 to provide money where a need has arisen. That justifies the same. And I want to announce here that, Your Excellency, a need has already arisen because you have announced with Baba that you are going to compensate these people. I will use that authority, that delegated authority by the people of Kenya, to provide resources and budget where a need has arisen, and I want to announce that a need has already arisen. Secondly, because I want to move very fast, Your Excellency, I don't know whether watu wa Migori mlikuwa mnasikiza President vizuri. When the president talked about the projects that are going on in Migori and things that you can see, not propaganda. When the president says 18 markets are being constructed, these are things that are happening on the ground and you're seeing them. If a president can go to Oria of all places and launch a market, and the market is already being constructed almost nearing completion, which president can go to Oria? Which other president can visit Oria? And you are seeing all this. You are seeing what is happening in the blue economy, which was forgotten for years. You are able to see that almost every constituency in Migori County, for the first time, I don't think there is any other financial year where almost every constituency in a county like Migori has at least one tarmac road lined up for tarmacking. But Your Excellency, let me also clarify this, that as you do it here, you are doing it elsewhere. As you are putting up stadium in Migori of 800 million shillings, I know there is another one in Kakamega for 1.4 billion shillings. As we upgrade, and by the way, Your Excellency, it was a very sad situation that the 4 counties of Luo Nyanza, Migori, Homa Bay, Kisumu, and Siaya, and even by extension, our Kisii neighbors, we didn't have a serious level 6 hostel in this region. All these years since independence, we all know how Russia, it used to be called Russia, then it became New Nyanza General Hostel. Now it is Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hostel. All these governments, no one saw the need to make Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hostel level 6. It is this administration which has upgraded Jaramogi Oginga Odinga to level 6, and you have allocated 3 billion shillings in this financial year. Jaramogi was surviving barely on 600 million provided by Kisumu government, Kisumu County. Today, what are we seeing? An elevated hospital where we are going to have a cancer center for this region. Our people used to come to Moi Eldoret, Your Excellency. Now, but as you are doing that here, I know that in Bungoma, we are also doing another hospital there as our name.
Wacha hiyo story ya Mbadi ifike hapo. I can't imagine we were in the same front with this guy in Azimio. It's unfortunate. So nikuulize pia is he aware that DP has left Kenya after 76 years of service in Kenya? Ama tu anaongea tu story ya Russia. Sijui, it used to be called Russia Hospital.
Nimekuambia Jiro, uache kutuweka kichwa moto na wajinga wanaongea takataka, wajue vile wanasema. Wachana na hawa watu.
And you see, level 6 or level what without equipment is meaningless. Njiru. Well, unajonga level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 4, level 5, level 6, level what, level 10, level 12, level what. It doesn't matter. Kama haina equipment, haina madaktari, haina madawa. It's a waste of our time. Alafu huyu bandi anaongea kama kajinga. I didn't know people become so stupid. I pray so hard and never find myself in the same house with such people. Amekuwa kajinga ati umenisaidia, nimekuwa sijui umenipatia appointment, niko ati kwa what of the constitution, imepatia cabinet secretary atafute pesa, afanye bra waimbe pesa. Then they are stealing. Bandit knows he may find himself kwa jail. Naruto. Unajua kuna watu wanafikiri Njiru Badi needs to retire and see his grandchildren grow. Does he know he may see them from they may never see him. He may be in jail. Wacha tu. Mungu atusaidie.
Julia, have you heard of DP has closed in Kenya?
I don't know, but I think it did.
Yeah, DP ilishafunga.
And many others.
The famous DP ile mnajua. Na si ati imefungwa sababu ati tunafungua ingine. Ati kuna kampuni ingine imetengenezwa Kenya. Inafungwa sababu ujanja imeisha Kenya. There's nothing else which can be done. So I wanted you to see that psychophancy. You can be too psychophant that you cannot even understand that your nation is collapsing. I fail to understand. I even had another governor in Nyanza saying we also want our share of uongo ya Ruto. Kama Ruto ni muongo, you should not discriminate us. Hiyo uongo tunataka ikuje kwetu. I had some guys saying that. I couldn't believe. So people feel, they think like being lied is fashionable. Anyway, I would want somebody to explain to me that level of psychophancy whereby now I think, I don't know why our Nyanza leaders have decided to embrace Ruto this highly. Mimi naweza taka tu mtu anielezee what's wrong with the Luo Nyanza, this embrace of Ruto. Yani umeiona, some people in Luo land, they are embracing Ruto more than even Kalenjins. Hata nasikia Wakale wanashtuka. Mnataka kutupokonya serikali.
Wanashtuka, lakini it is hypocritical. They are trying to play Ruto. They think they are playing him and he'll soon sink into it and decide that they are good people. Wamempenda genuinely. They are hoping that Ruto could even have a presidential candidate from Nyanza, Luo Nyanza. Most likely Raila Odinga, because hawajainua mtu mwingine. Lakini let me say this. I don't believe akina Badi they are representing the views of all the Luo community. You know, sometimes we make blanket judgments and put communities into the behavior of some individuals. Wajaluo pia wamefinywa. Their children are going through so much. A lot of their children have been killed on the streets by the Ruto government. So si ati kuna kamba Wajaluo wote wanasherehekea hii ujinga. It's just the sycophants kama Bandi who are eating from the same pot with Ruto. And my take is he should not be surprised to be serving a jail term after this, instead of going to see his grandchildren. Hii kama ni Nyakairo ameingia, wacha niweke koma hapo.
Yeah, Julia, that one I understand. I'd not say all of them, but the level of sycophancy from some of our rural leaders is astonishing. I have seen you know, even during Kamodo time, Kamodo in Mount Kenya, we are the famous Kamodo Amoi. We have also had our good share of sycophancy, but the level of sycophancy in 2025 is astonishing. I like sycophancy, which makes you to put blinders on a collapsing nation. Things are not working, and you are saying that huyu ndiye mtu wa kwanza atakufanya tujue power ni nini. There is something which a father is saying here, Kakasungura is being investigated. So Kakasungura. I see kuna podcast naonanga Kakasungura akiwa huko na anaongeanga sana. Then what I investigate wengi, Kakasungura, Chris Kumekucha. There are so many people. Although ni kama Chris Kumekucha sijai, kuna some podcast who you cannot even associate it with anyone. Wengine watoi hata sura, but they give very credible information. So I don't know wanatafutia Kakasungura nini. Aya, naona Mama Mary amefika. Asante sana. So welcome Mama Mary, and keep the trajectory of dialogue going. There is a lot we are discussing tonight. Habari yako?
Nzuri sana Njiru.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nasalimia.
I hope umeona ile mambo tumecheza hapo. Tumecheza hiyo sycophancy ya Mbadi. Tumeongea hiyo, hao watu wanasema nani asikuje Gachagua. Kenya imekuwa na amani mingi sana. Ati Gachagua asikuje. Ati ni muti ya vurugu. There is a lot which have played as we talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, nasalimia Julia. For some days I haven't heard her. Nasalimia Njeru.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, nasalimika.
Yes, nasalimia Kuzos wale wako kwa comment section. Wakenya wote nawasalimia sana. Now, nimesikia yote ambayo mlikuwa mnaongea. Ingine ni ya kufanya kichwa kiwe na moto kama vile Njeru amesema. In fact, you look at these people, you wonder where they are coming from and what are they talking about. It's like they are talking to animals who never have a capacity of reasoning. The way they are trying to put about Gachagua not coming back because it has been silent. Sasa unaweza ona ile mambo ambao hawa watu wanapenda kufanya ndio wanafanya saa hii, ndio wafunike yale maovu yote wamefanya. And I think they have been quiet somehow because they see things are not going well. Somehow because Gachagua has revealed many evil things that this government has done. Na hiyo mambo yote imewaweka kitu ambacho hawakudhania ama kutarajia. Because right now Ruto anajua kabisa mambo yake yote imekuwa exposed. Everything of what he has been doing, it has been exposed to the world, not even to the country, to the world. And that is where now this guy is trying to play low, trying to know which direction can I go. Now I'll call them hunters zake ambao wako huko kando, sasa ndio wanapayuka. Wameambiwa enda useme hivi huko, wewe na wewe piga mshale pandile. Because the fear is great. They don't know what Gachagua is coming to do. So they are trying to back like dogs who have not had anything, but because mwenye inchi, mwenye boma amekuja, zinapiga kelele kuonyeshana we are still at work. But that does not work. To we Kenyans, we are not fools. Na hiyo ndio ile kitu amesahau, that Kenyans are not sleeping. They are getting all what they are talking about and what they are doing. Now, Gachagua will come, and that day will be great. Let's see how they will behave. Let's see where these problems they are talking about that we have been having when Gachagua in the country, where they will start. All those things that happened in the country when Gachagua was home, it emanated from the government. Nobody else brought all these problems. It can be, there is evidence of showing how these people planned and what they did and how they participated. Hii serikali kabisa ni ya majambazi. Kwa hivyo mambo yao yote hivyo ndivyo wanafanyaga. Kwa sasa watasema Gachagua ameenda, sasa nchi ilikuwa imetulia. But those things that they were doing, Gachagua was not doing them. It is the government. Gachagua was busy with his attacks to this regime. Lakini wakawa wamezidi kiwango, walikuwa wanafikiria hii mambo yote haitajulikana. But they were on their business of how to collapse the country. Gachagua was not involved. They have tried to make that work. It's not holding water. Everything is in the open. The other thing, who goes to the crowd to praise himself? Who goes to the crowd to say that these things umenisaidia na mimi ndio nimefanya kazi mzuri sana? Who says that in front of people who are grown-ups like me, like Julia, like Njero, like Njiru, like everybody in the comment section? Because we understand these people are trying to play games on us. And I wonder why this politics is becoming nasty, really nasty na ridiculous. Kwa sababu mtu kusimama mbele ya watu kujigamba ati mimi ni mzuri, mimi niko hivi, mimi nimefanya. We are the people who are going to recommend whether you have done good job or not. But you cannot tell us that you have done this and that so that we start clapping for you. Hata mwenye anapiga makofi sijui anapiga makofi ya nini. Hivyo ni kumaanisha wewe ambaye unapiga makofi ni wewe mjinga kabisa. You don't argue for yourself. And everything that is said by these people, it is nonsense. Nobody is saying anything to help the country. It's just for themselves. Na kwa nini sisi tuwe tunatumika kuambiwa mambo ingine ambayo ni kama kututusi, wanatutusi? Kuonyeshana sisi ni wajinga kabisa, that is why they are leading us. Tunaongozwa na watu ambao hawana mwelekeo na hawana nidhamu hata kidogo. Ni watu wabaya, watu wajinga. Come to think, who is Sudi trying to tell people how to behave? Trying to tell people that he is an engineer. Even maybe he don't know the meaning of engineer, what it means. Because that guy, he seemed to feel himself na kujiweka yeye ndiye, the best in our country. Na pesa ujue sio everything. Money is not everything. Kwa hivyo usijigambe useme we ni engineer na ambapo hata ukiulizwa swali huwezi kujibu, hata uendi parliament kutoa maoni yako, you are just there backbenchers or you are absent. That's all he can do. Ama aende kwao aongee lugha yake. I saw a clip that lady told him enda ukaongee na wanyama, because the only language wanyama wanaweza elewa ni kutoka kwa Sudi. So all these people are talking garbage in front of people, in front of educated people, and that is why people feel angry. And even they are making us more angrier to push them out. And I wish they can go out of that place as soon as yesterday. Because we cannot be led by such kind of people, and the world is watching to see, is this what the people who are leading the country behave? Is this the way they talk? Is this how they can reason in front of people? Does it mean Kenyans, there are no people who understand what is going on? Who understand these people, they are driving them to nowhere? Those are things that we are arguing, that you people don't come to tell us what you have done for us. Do it. Then we ourselves, we are the people to say. And it is very serious and sad that we have employed very incompetent people in our country. Very incompetent. Na ndio unaona ile mambo yote wanaongea hata unasikia kutapika. You don't want to listen to them. You get even more angry because what can you argue with such a person? Nothing. These are people who are deteriorating the country while they are trying to babysit us with those ridiculous talk, speeches all the time. Na kwa hivyo hawa watu ni one term. Now, I go to the other one. Hii compensation ya watu wale walikufa, wale waliuawa. Sisemi walikufa, wale waliuawa. When you are compensating, ask yourself a question. Why am I compensating these people? Kwani nilihusika? Because this government should not even be close to that compensation at all. Since they denied it, they denounced, they said they didn't do it. Watoto wote turudisha kwa wazazi. Who are they compensating? You see how people, when they go on lying, they come and fault themselves. Now they have put themselves in the hole where they cannot come out. Compensation for who? For what? What happened to those people you are compensating? And the other thing, why should you use the government money, knowing well that you are the one who killed them? We want your money. We want your sweat, your money, ambayo umefanyia kazi, ndio utalipa hao. Na ukumbuke, watoto hawakuzaliwa wauziwe wewe. Watoto hawakuzaliwa uwaue ndio ucompensate. Money will never, ever, ever, ever be equal to somebody's life. Life is so distinct, ambayo huwezi kucheza nayo. So for me, I'm just saying, Kenyans, sisi tumejionea na macho yetu, tumesikia na masikio yetu, na tumeona hakuna pahali hawa watu wanatupeleka. They are just payukering. And in fact, these people, they should understand that they are payukering. They are not telling us anything. Inapitia kwa hii sikio inatokea pandi ingine because we are not relying on them. It's unfortunate that they are there in those offices, occupying our offices like by force. It's not that we want them there. They are using force. Kwa sababu mchana wa leo, kama wangesema tuamue kama wanafanya kazi vizuri, tumeshaamua, tulishaamua zamani, wangekuwa wameondoka. Lakini hawana aibu. They just want to stay there until we get them out. And that is what Kenyans we have to do. Get these people out of our way. Waende wakawe machokora huko. Waongeleshe watu wale wanaelewa language yao kwa sababu we are beyond that. We don't want to understand them at all. It has reached a point that we don't want to listen to their rubbish speeches, talk, and all this. They praise themselves in front of us, while we know we have got nothing that we are getting from their service. They are not servicing the inhabitants who elected them. They are servicing themselves. Na hata saa hiyo anaongea hapo mbele ya hao watu, anaongea akijua kabisa mimi ninaongea uongo. Na hata huyo kiongozi wao ambaye ni mwenye bribes, zile alikuwa anasema ati anataka kusimamisha bribes. Come to think, such kind of a person who have got no respect to Kenyans, talking about bribes, knowing how much money he has lost, we have lost through bribes of his nature. So Kenyans, for me, I stand as a Kenyan, patriotic Kenyan, mtu ambaye anapenda nchi yake, na vile angependa aongozwe. Sisi tumepoteza wakati na hawa watu, na hawa watu wanatakiwa to move out as soon as possible. So I stop there, but I'm very sad seeing these people, how they are talking, trying to undermine Gachagua's idea, which we are going to follow, and we are not giving up. Gachagua is doing the good job, and he is not praising himself. But the people who are not working, they are praising themselves. And that is the order of the day for this regime, praising themselves, not from the people. There is no way for such kind of a regime to lead a country to anywhere. Thank you.
Maybe to give the interim results, 24 people have voted so far. It is available for the public in our channel. Your poll niliweka. I can see Julia is extremely happy today. Julia, are you there? Julia Moriana? Yeah, I can see Julia is
I'm there. I saw nitaka kuonyesha hiyo kitu.
Yeah. So I can see hata imeongezeka zaidi ya vile ulikuwa unanionyesha. I think you shared with me when it was 21. Now 24 people have voted. So Matiang'i, hata nimekosea spelling. Anyway, Matiang'i is 71, Gachagua 25, Kalonzo 4. Yeah, that is what so Julia, do you think this is the reality? Are these polls reflective? Like
however much people do not, we are not hatujatosheka with Matiang's aggressiveness. We want him to be more aggressive. We want him to be more daring. People still may trust him for presidency rather than Gachagua. And that one, I want to add you to the fact that Gachagua, I think there should be some polling right now, even by Nation TV and others, so that Gachagua gets to know what people feel like him being in the leadership. They feel they love what he's doing. They'll back him and support him and listen to him. But there are places they don't want him to go for things that they may not want to. They may not want to forget. They're still holding him probably. I'm not sure they're holding him probably or blaming for Kasongo. Maybe they are, but they may not trust his leadership style when it comes to presidency. When somebody becomes president, Njiru, that person will not be yapping one term. When the person will become president, we want him to deliver. We want education for our children. We want health services. We want good roads. We want sitima, clean water. We want all that. We want our economy to grow. So probably when it comes to presidency, we have a different thinking altogether. That is what I want. And that is why Gachagua and team should be very strategic even when it comes to these by-elections. Wasiruke kuko kwa emotions kwamba tunasema one term. Wangali ni nani who will beat Kasongo's thugs. That should be the agenda. Wacha nifikishe hapo.
So maybe the question which I can ask you, do you think people like Gachagua and like Kalonzo Musyoka, I can see like in this poll, this live poll, he is polling very poorly. Do you think Kalonzo can accept the verdict of Kenyans like at this particular time? They may not be interested in his leadership at the top rank. No, and Kalonzo is also at his sunset year. So do you think Kenyans would want him? Or even if Kenyans they might want, what this thing is trying to tell us, like Wakenya wakutaki lakini maybe wanaweza kuwa nakutaka in other positions. Do you think Kalonzo will be comfortable by not polling as a president? And KTN the other day was like saying that Kalonzo is very could be the right candidate. Are they going to accept this verdict? Because live poll are showing like ni kama Wakenya wanaweza taka Matiang'i to some extent. These are live polls. Although we are not seeing him in some other polls as well. So I don't know, like it's a bit tricky still. But are they going to accept Matiang'i? And is Matiang'i going to pull in the direction of working for the united opposition the way it needs to? Kukuuliza tu.
Kalonzo, it seems it just tells you, Njiru, that they don't believe Kalonzo can change Kenya. That is what it tells you. Period. And Kalonzo saying that hawezi kubali kitu ingine, he has to come to that reality. So it tells you that Matiang'i is the candidate that will sell. Though we appreciate what they are doing, though we appreciate what the role every person is playing, people seemingly may trust Matiang'i for the top job. Because beyond throwing Kasongo out, we want our country to change. We don't want another Kasongo. We don't want to go back to status quo. Tuanze kujadiliana. Mlima mmepewa viti ngapi? Tumepewa 10 cabinet secretaries. Are we okay? We don't want to go back that. We want a different Kenya. We want a situation where Kenyans will feel appreciated whether they have a cabinet secretary or not. Where you don't have to have one of your own as a cabinet secretary to feel like kwa serikali. Hapana. Hata history ya huyo those thugs who are saying ati mlima mtakuwa kwa upinzani. Who cares? If the government is working, tunaweza kuwa kwa upinzani. We want such. That is what
these are initial polls. These are initial polls, and maybe your Gachagua could pick up. These are initial polls.
For presidency, it will be hard to sell Gachagua. I'm saying the hard truth here. For presidency.
Julia, can I add something on what you are saying? You see, the time when Gachagua was talking, I don't know whether it was Texas or which place. I can't remember exactly the state, but he said it is not the time to say it is Matiang'i or Gachagua or Kalonzo for now. We are just quiet because tutaanza kuekelewa mambo ingine, kupelekwa makotini, this and that. Now, could it be maybe that is why Matiang'i is holding up, not doing as harsh as he would, or what do you think?
Vile umeulizwa swali, do you think Matiang'i is not hard enough because maybe the real electioning time is not coming and has not arrived, and maybe kuna uwezekano maybe watu kama akina Ruto wanaweza mwekelea mambo mingi. Then there is another question which I'm also asking. Do you think Matiang'i will be able to navigate some of the scandals zile ambazo watu wanakuanga wakimwekelea with a very restitutive voice? Will he be able to fight that? Ni swali tu nauliza.
I don't know. I think he will. He will, because he's coming out with a different kind of politics. And probably Kenyans may also buy that. They say, tunataka Gachagua ametupigania, lakini tunataka huyu mtu mwenye we want a technocrat. Maybe. And the scandals, he even said they can form an inquiry and investigate him. So as long as they don't have enough evidence to take him to court, he'll get away with it. Not he'll get away with it, he'll survive that. So I think he will, Njiru. And so far, let me say this. Hakuna mwingine mwenye ametokea mwenye anaweza fika level yake. All those who have said, let me say this. The person who would have given him a run for his money was somebody called Okiya Omtatah, but he proved to be very weak. Hata sijui ameenda wapi Okiya, Njiru. What happened to Okiya Omtatah? The other person
Okiya Omtatah is amepotelea, but there is a video which was shared with me by somebody, but sahi I have no capacity kuicheza. Okiya Omtatah had said that he can even support Gachagua if it reaches to those level. I think Okiya Omtatah has shied away from presidency. Julia, this is something we will keep on monitoring, because in some other ways of looking for this, we are not seeing this. So we will try to realign it or to look what is happening, because yes, in live polls we can see Matiang'i, but in easy polls that could dig we cannot see Matiang'i. So ni kitu najaribu kujiuliza why.
I hope also people with bigger channels who can also be able to do the same. We see if if we subject him to a large population mass, if we can be able to see that. But if Kenyans wanataka Matiang'i, he has to now start coming out strong. That's all I will say. He has to start working out with the narrative. He can be the president. I'm not denying that, but the challenge I have is that there are some places we are not seeing him. But for now, iko namna hiyo. So ni kama platform yetu mnasema ni Matiang'i. Our platform mnasema hivyo, and the majority always win. So if the results continue this way, we will pull him with Ruto tomorrow. Na hiyo ya Ruto kesho ama kesho kutwa, najua hiyo atameza Ruto kabisa. Ruto anaweza pata 0. Don't even wait for that one. I don't know. Any person against Ruto, that one will be mirroring Ruto. So najua hiyo mnangojea Ruto kabisa. Julia, hiyo si mnaona Ruto atamalizwa. Any poll with Ruto, si Ruto anapata 0.
Mulisikia hata mosquito with Ruto, mosquito wins. So the thing is, Njiru, we are at a situation where Kenyans have become, unajua Gen Z Kenyans have very high expectations. That is one, which is a nice thing. Gen Z want Kasongo out, but the Gen Z are looking post Kasongo. What do they want? They want a revolutionary leader mwenye atabadilisha nchi. And that is why when Gen Z, when they go back to this polling, what they think about all these politicians, now wanasema ni watu status quo. So what they have the least person of status quo ni Matiang'i. And they had Akina Okiya Mtata in their minds, but I think the man has shied away because Okiya doesn't look like a status quo person. Okay, now Martha Karua is not fighting it out like Gachagua, lakini Martha Karua si mtu wa status quo. Martha Karua ni mtu wa law and order, akufunge tu kama mapema kama jana. Unaona, kuna watu tu wako Kenya wanaweza perform. So I guess unless we get somebody who has provenly outperformed Fred Okemo Matiang'i, it will be very hard to beat that guy. I mean, it will be hard. That is what I think. Naona Njiru ameamua kutuacha as usual. Sijui Nyakairo na Njeru mnasema aje?
Sema mimi nasikiza nini, niko kwa basi. Niko karibu kuacha.
Okay, Nyakairo.
Mimi Julia nimeingia barabarani, so I'll just listen.
Okay, Njiru.
Okay, that one is okay. So nataka kuuliza swali sasa now Julia, can you help me to understand now because I think unity we have to start now seeing unity very quickly. Matiang'i, Gachagua, do you think like Ruto still atataka kufikia hawa watu? Ruto amechoka ama bado aliachana na wao?
Yes, he's trying to buy them a lot. Ujasikia vile wanafuatwa kila siku.
And I think, I think Ruto has understood the power of money and the power of buying a crowd. Because the other day I saw Kisses being taken to the State House. So maybe kuuliza swali, maybe Father Danny, you can tell us this one. Wakisi wamebaki na sisi ama walinunuliwa na wakaenda? Because they were in the State House na we even saw some of their leaders there. Ama Julia, hujaona Wakisi wakiwa State House?
And niliwaona.
Yeah. So, and now, right now, Ruto is in Nyeri, and I'm hearing that he could attend a church service kesho in Mlima Kenya. It's like the guy is not getting tired of hoodwinking and talking to people. What do you think?
So I think he's just tried his old tactics, which may not work this time. Kwa sababu gani? Look at the motorbikes that he gave in State House. How did that come out? It's like it backfired on him. So ni kama hiyo kitu itafanya. Hata saa hii nasikia amejaribu kununua kina Kalonzo sana, and it seems seemingly they are not bulging. So I think he's headed for a big disappointment by the time elections come. Imeenda.
So now ile swali tunafaa kujiuliza sasa ni how are we arranging ourselves to make sure that Ruto does not use its dirty gimmicks, because unajua maybe vitu zingine atujui zile atatumia. And by the way, for your information, Julia, nimesikia Kasongo anakuja Marekani Yeah, I think this week or next week he should be coming to America. So, and to whether he is coming to the White House, that one is not something we don't know. But I think he is also trying to recreate his image. I don't know if he will want to create the same moment which Gachagua has created, visiting Kenyans in different places. I also don't know Sudi alikuja kufanya nini Marekani. I'm hearing Sudi is in America. Sijui kama wanateremka na Gachagua. That is something which we don't know. Question to you. If Gachagua realizes that he is not a presidential candidate in our team, is he going to stick with us, or if he will still want to push himself to be a presidential candidate in this one?
I think Gachagua knows he's least likely to be the presidential candidate. That is why amekuwa akisema kwamba they're not announcing the candidate right now. I think he's a smart guy.
Okay, that one is quite in order. So anyway, Julia, that one we will keep on monitoring. It's a shock for me. Let's see. And then maybe people need also to talk more about Matiang'i, because I think in online spaces, people are not speaking enough about him. Maybe kuna Matiang'i haonekani places mingi. So I hope he will be able to gear up his campaign if, like in our platform, people see him being favorable. I think we have to start looking for ways of which now he has to become a serious candidate. Okay, ni sawa. Julia, I think tutafunga because I need to do other issues.
Let me say something before you close. I hope there is no policy on the way. Ruto is doing his touches because hakuna mtu anamuoppose for now, and that is why they are very happy and trying to say that the country is so quiet. It's so comfortable with the atmosphere, because Ruto is trying to go places whereby he is not being opposed, and nobody is on the other side. When he is the other side, there is somebody on the other side. I think that is where Ruto is taking chances. For now, ni yule mtu anaingiaga nyumba ya mtu na anaangalia nyuma asikutwe. That is how he is behaving. And that is why they are claiming the country is quiet, haina mambo mingi, because he is able to move all around. That is my take, hoping that our Kenyans are not listening to this person. He has attempted to buy some of the people like Kalonzo. Kalonzo has amesimama kwa ground yake, amekataa. And many others, they have refused because they can see, however, hata kama ninataka kuwa politician ama ninataka kuwa nini, this is not a regime that I should put my feet in. So Ruto is trying to move very far nyuma. Who gains this one? I think that is what I can say for now. Thank you.
Sawa Njiru, unaweza funga nane kesho.
Okay, so what I wanted to explain is that the poll which has done today is about the poll today is a live poll. So I'll bring the other one which we are continuing to do because we we want to harmonize the data, but it's okay. So I will nitafungua kituo later in the day. So
All right, bye. Unitext ukifungua Njiru.